it's very exciting as our hangout continues to grow and we continue to hear from people that are actually connecting throughout this mind gym. So what is the purpose of the mind gym? Why do we do this? Why do we get together and share ideas, thoughts, and lessons or strategies or tactics that can help us grow mentally? Well, we do this because we know where the mind goes, the body follows. We know that from the moment we are in our mother's womb, our mind is being programmed. And then as we grow up, we become a product of our environment. We become a product of our the people that surround us. We become a product of so many things, whether it be school, whether it be peers, whether it be friends, whether it be even our family members. We are programmed from the moment that we exist. So, you know, sometimes you reach a stage in your life where you kind of get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you say, there has to be more to life than this. There has to be more to life than this. And then we all embark in a search journey, in a search adventure per se, and we start trying to become that better person, because deep down inside we really want to be all that we can be. That's how we've been wired. That's why I don't know if you've heard this said before, there are two very important days in everyone's life. Number one, the day that you enter this world, and number two, the day that you actually figure out why. Why am I here? What am I doing here? What is the purpose of my life? What is my mission? What am I supposed to accomplish? Where did I come from? What are my roots? Why am I the way that I am? And most importantly, where am I going? That's such an important question. And so many people fail to find the answer to the purpose in their life. So the mind gym is kind of like just a hangout place, a place where we come together. And as I, you know, go through my own journey and I learn, I share with those that I know, don't know, one day we'll meet, and we connect and we edify each other. We share something positive for a change. We feed off of positive, nutritious, mental, mind food, and we grow together. So I'm very happy that you are here with me today. So today we're going to talk about something that is extremely important for us to even be aware of it. You know, having an awakening. I don't know if any of you that are watching today, watching this broadcast, have ever had an awakening. I'll give you a couple of seconds or just an instant to ask yourself, have I had an awakening? Have I had a moment in my life or throughout my life so far where I have come to a deeper understanding of really who am I and what makes me tick? And most of all, why do I do the things that I do, even though sometimes they may not be as kind, gentle, positive, or edifying as they should be? You know, sometimes we just end up having really bad habits, really bad ways of thinking. We are just, you know, automatically falling into certain patterns that that just don't help us grow, move ahead, and reach for those bigger things in life. So have you ever had an awakening? Have you had an awakening? When you hear stories of people that have had close death experiences or a moment where they just thought this is over, they always talk about how in that instant, in that moment, they put their lives in a better perspective. But we don't all have to go through a near-death experience or through a tragic moment in life to put things in perspective. God has given us the ability to rationalize, to think. He's given us the intellect to analyze our own life, look back on our life, look at our present, and be able to judge We have the ability to use common sense and say, if I keep doing the same thing over and over, am I really going to get a different result? So when you have those types of moments, when you come to a fork in the road of your life, in the path that you are living, and you say, you know what, I need to assess, I need to evaluate, I need to make an inventory of my life here and now, what I've done, what I'm doing, and what I'm going to do. I believe very, very strongly that you will have an awakening. And the sooner the better. There are many times that I ask myself, why did it take me so long to figure this out? Why did it take me so long to overcome this challenge? Why did it take me so long to become more aware of myself, of my feelings, of the things that hold me back, of my setbacks, of my fears, of my insecurities? Why did it take me so long? I don't have the answer for why it takes us so long, but all I can tell you is that if we don't have an awakening, if we don't have a deep life awakening, then we're going to be just a statistic of those people that are just here existing. Please don't be existing. Please don't be existing. Live life on purpose. Your life has a purpose. Figure it out. Find it out. Seek it. Knock, ask, look, search, investigate, research. Why are you here? We all have a purpose. So when I had this awakening, a lot of times it's painful. Getting to know yourself could be very painful. It certainly can be very confusing because you realize, wow, no wonder I am where I am. No wonder I've gone through the experiences that I've gone through. So it can be painful. It can be confusing. But once you have that awakening, it's awesome. It's like a flower that has blossomed. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 7, 17, 77, 57, 47, 27, 37, or 107. When you have an awakening, the rest of your life, however long it is you're going to live, takes on living color. So write that down. Start living your life in living color. Until you don't have an awakening, you are living in black and white. I was living in black and white. So this awakening gives you the ability to become more aware. So say to yourself right now, right there where you are, you can say it internally, you can say it out loud. Say to yourself, I need an awakening. I need a deeper understanding of my life. I need to start living in living color. I want an awakening. Effective immediately, I'm putting my life on notice that here and now, whoever this person is that I see when I look in the mirror, I'm putting my life on notice that this person is on the hunt for a deeper understanding of who I am so that I can have an awakening. Now, get ready for some ugly stuff. Get ready for some hurtful stuff. Get ready for some shaking stuff. Get ready to have the rug pulled out from under your feet. Get ready to come face to face with some of your biggest insecurities, maybe habits, maybe temperaments, maybe emotions. But at the end, it's all worth it. No pain, no gain. But today we're going to talk about something really important, and it's fear. Because maybe you haven't had that awakening. Maybe you haven't searched for who you really are because you're scared of what you're going to find, or you're scared of losing your familiarity. So we're going to talk about the fear factor and those fear zones that we all have in our life, because we all have them. We're all afraid of something. We are all afraid of something. And actually, fear is a self-preserving emotion, but we are supposed to overcome it. And to overcome it, you and I need to be aware of it. I've seen the most destructive activity of humans coming from the root of fear. The root of fear is a very destructive one. And I want you to think of it as a root. So think of a tree, And think of before that tree ever came to have roots, what was there? A seed, right? Somebody planted a seed. So someone planted seeds in us that created the root of fear, and then that tree grows, and that tree has a trunk, it has branches, it has leaves, and then it bears fruit. And I can tell you that I have realized, I've learned, and myself, I have found that the root of fear is very self-destructive. It is one of the most self-destructive emotions and feelings that a human being will ever encounter, because it will grow very, very, very deep within us. It will bear extremely harmful fruit that is self-destructive, self-corrosive, self-hindering. It's incapacitating sometimes, that root of fear. So I want you to be aware of it. Effective today, I hope that the eyes of your understanding are opened up, and that from now on, every time you feel fear, now I'm not talking about walking down a dark alley in the middle of the night and three gargantuous men are walking towards you, and you feel the fear of running for your life. No, go ahead and run for your life. But I'm talking about the different types of fears that just hold us back in life, in relationships, in business, in our career, in everything that we do. First thing is be aware. Be aware of the feeling of fear and what is triggering that fear. What triggers it? Because it is a root. I'm talking about the tree of fear, the root of fear that gives fruit in our life. So recognize what it is. First of all, be aware. Second, be understanding that you have to recognize what it is, because fear will hold you back. Fear will literally stampede you and just lay you flat on your back where you won't even go forward. You'll just be stuck. So let me tell you about the kinds of fears, and maybe you can identify with some of these. First, we have the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection. Normally, the fear of rejection comes from even very, very early on in childhood, or from even when we were in our mother's womb. Some type of life experience from our mother could have planted that seed of rejection, and so we grow up and we live with the fear of rejection. We're afraid of being rejected. Now, nobody likes being rejected, but the thing is, you have to overcome that fear. You have to be aware of it, recognize it, and find the tactics and ways that you can overcome that, especially if you're in business, especially if you're in sales. I mean, think about it. How are you going to be successful if you are paralyzed, if you are just held back by the fear of rejection? So be aware of it. And why are you so scared of rejection? Yeah, it's okay to feel it, but you can overcome it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's okay to feel the fear, but do it scared. Just overcome it. And that's what we're really looking for today. Another fear is a fear of being disliked. Have you ever met a people pleaser? Have you ever met someone that's just a people pleaser? They say, there's a song that went, The Tears of a Clown When There's No One Around, by, I forget the guy that sings it, but you remember the name of the artist. So a people pleaser is someone that is afraid of being disliked. They just go around being yesers, being people pleasers, and they always put their feelings aside because they are afraid of being disliked. So the fear of being disliked is an actual fear that you need to be aware of. How about disappointment? The fear of being disappointed. So we don't commit, we don't engage, we don't give all of ourselves, we don't open up to anyone because, well, first of all, we were rejected, somebody hurt us, and so we don't want to be disliked, and so Now we don't want to be disappointed, so we just close up, shut up like a clown, shut down like a clown, clam up, because we're afraid of disappointment. Fear of failure. Oh, that's a big one. Most people don't ever reach for the stars because they're afraid of failing. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I can't do it? What if people make fun of me? What if people find out? What if people criticize me? What if people badmouth me? What if people, uh, whatever? So the fear of failure. There's also fear of success. People, well, what if it does work? Then what do I do? What if I make all this money and I don't know? Then I have to pay all these taxes. What do I do after it does work? So let me not do too much of it because I'm afraid of success. I'm, I don't see myself being worthy of success. I haven't never seen myself being successful. Therefore, I am afraid, fearful of success. We also have the fear of abandonment. Oh, that's a big one. You know how many people stay in relationships, stay in friendships, stay in connections, stay in business ventures because they are afraid of having to stand alone. Standing alone is not easy, but we all have to stand alone at some time. Otherwise, we'll just end up being another one of the bunch or being somewhere where we are not intended to be, and we, stunt our growth. So don't be afraid of abandonment, but recognize, are you a person that is fearful of abandonment? We also have the fear of being overwhelmed. Ah, I am so overwhelmed. I'm not going to learn anymore. I'm not going to do anymore. I'm not going to, push anymore because I am so afraid of feeling overwhelmed. Well, being overwhelmed is okay. It means your brain just gathered a whole bunch of information to try to figure out how to compartmentalize it, organize it, structure it so that it can use it because you had never fed it all that information. You had never been at this level of whatever it is that you are learning on. And so the fear of being overwhelmed, it just, tells people, enough, I don't want to learn anymore, I'm done. Hey, as long as we're alive, we need to be learning because we don't know it all. We also have the fear of making mistakes. What if I mess up? You know how many people don't make a decision because they're afraid of making a mistake? Well, I didn't make a decision because I didn't know what to do. Well, make the best decision you can. What about your life? You know how many mistakes I've made? Oh my gosh. And then have people that remind me of them. I love them, but they remind me of the mistakes. So don't be afraid of making a mistake. That's how we learn. Make your best judgment call. Put common sense into it. Give it your best shot and do something. Because even if you don't do anything, you're still doing something. No action is still an action. So the fear of making mistakes. So you're a person that has not moved up the corporate ladder, has not taken opportunities when they've come to you because you're afraid of making mistakes. So that's another fear. The fear of the unknown, big one, really, really, really big one. So many times I found myself on the ledge, on the edge, on the cliff of the unknown. And that's where faith has to kick in. And that's where you have to say, there has to be someone that's got my back, that as soon as I take this next step, I am going to trust with all my mind, heart, and soul that either they will create more ground for me or they will catch me as I fall. And you just have to take that leap of faith because the fear of the unknown is a huge one and we encounter it over and over and over. I'm not going to make that phone call because what if? I'm not going to contact that person because what if? I am not going to take that challenge because what if? The fear of the unknown. That is a huge one. And it holds us back and it's really a roadblock and it really hinders us in so many ways, in more ways than one. We have the fear of losing. Now, we all have met a sore loser. Someone that doesn't like to lose. Who likes to lose? It's painful. But that's the only way you win. You actually win stuff by losing. You win what? You win knowledge, wisdom, understanding, insight. Obviously, we don't set out to lose, but don't let the fear of losing hold you back. And then the last one I want to bring to your top of mind awareness is the fear of being hurt. Who likes being hurt? Nobody. So the fear of being hurt just holds us captive. It holds us captive. Um, and we just have to be aware which of these fears are more prevalent, are more relevant, are more prevailing in our lives. Which one is it? Which one is my top three? Rejection, being disliked, disappointment, abandonment, failure, success, unknown, being overwhelmed, making mistakes, losing, being hurt. Which one is it? Once you realize which ones are your top three, then you can recognize what they are and how to overcome them. How to overcome them. Fear affects us all. That's one thing I want you to know, recognize, remember. Fear is an unconscious feeling. Sometimes we don't even know it's fear. Fear is an unconscious feeling. So you need an awakening. You need to be aware. You need to open the eyes of your understanding and realize that, why am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? Why am I not going the extra mile? Why am I staying stuck? Why am I not getting out of my comfort zone? It's 110% probably due to one of these fears. Fear holds you back. Fear blocks your mind. So when you are experiencing one of these fears, remember it all comes from a root of fear. Now, the fruit of that tree can be so many things. Can be pessimism. I mean, we could go on, but I don't want to get off course. I want today to be, what is your fear factor? Ask yourself, what is my fear factor? How do I enter my fear zone? What causes me to enter my fear zone? Which of these fears, and there's hundreds of fears, but which of these that Lucy is sharing with me today is more, predominant in my life, dominates my life? Rejection, being disliked, disappointment, failure, success, unknown, abandonment, feeling overwhelmed, making mistakes, losing, or being hurt. Which one is more dominant in my life? And then recognizing, what do I need to do to overcome this? And the way you recognize what to do to overcome it is you're going to have to find that awakening. Why am I afraid of being hurt? Who hurt me so bad that now I've been programmed subconsciously to be afraid of being hurt? Who did me so wrong that now I am paralyzed by the fear of abandonment? Who rejected me more than once in a way that just right now is blocking me mentally, emotionally, and I just can't overcome it? Why am I afraid of being disliked? What is it? What is it? Who told me stuff that just planted that seed of the fear of being disliked, the fear of, failure? They say that most millionaires have lost everything at least once in their lifetime. So yes, it's scary to find yourself alone, having failed with nothing. But the question is, have you had the awakening in your life yet? Have you had the experience to know who you really are? Understand what makes you tick. Understand how you are wired. Understand the experiences that you've lived so that you can design your life, and you can stop living by default, by accident. You can stop living just an average life, and you can start designing your life like a master architect, because now you understand who you are, why you're here, and where you're going. So my desire for you is to recognize and understand these fears, to be aware of them when you start to feel them, but most of all, to design a life as the master architect, the head captain, the head pilot of your life that you are, and start to take your life in a journey that you have never imagined before. But you have to see yourself there first. You have to visualize yourself there first. And here's what I am going to encourage you to start doing. Start telling yourself, I am on my way to my deepest awakening because I'm getting ready, and I am ready for the best decade of my life. The best decade of my life. I am here and now prepared to have the best decade of my life. From here forward, my life will never be the same again, because change begins with me, within me, for me, and it's all about me. When I change, my atmosphere changes, my environment changes, those around me changes, because I am a change provoker. I am a disruptor of patterns that have held me back. I hope you enjoyed this Mind Gym. I hope you recognize new things about you, about your life, about who you are, why you're here, and where you're going. And let's start living life on purpose. And I wish you an awesome, awesome decade of life from here on in.